Welcome to This Sacred Life and the Divine Feminine Spotlight. I'm Transformation Goddess, best-selling author, and award-winning producer Shan Vanderleek. Listen in for wisdom teachings and transparent conversations with soulful women about walking in beauty, reclaiming your feminine sovereignty, and celebrating the mystery and wonder of your sacred life. Welcome back to This Sacred Life. I'm Shan Vanderleek. I'm so glad that you choose to be here with me today, listening in. Today we're going to talk about a passion of mine, which is reclaiming your feminine voice. I have been on a journey of reclaiming my own voice and helping women reclaim their voices now for several years. And if you have listened to any of the Goddess Talk sessions over the last couple years, you know that it's been a topic of conversation. I'm going to begin today with an incredible quote from Barbara Angelis. Living with integrity means not settling for less than what you deserve in your relationships, asking for what you want and need from others, speaking your truth, even though it might create conflict or tension, and behaving in ways that are in harmony with your personal values. Making choices based on what you believe, not what others believe. Such a powerful quote. I've been called to share what I've learned over the last decade about speaking my truth and reclaiming my feminine voice. The process has been quite an unfolding, and there have been many surprises along the way. When I was a young woman, I know I was looking for validation. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to get along. And I really wanted other people's opinions of me to be positive. I bet you can relate to that. Society is only just starting to come to terms with how women's voices have been silenced and discarded. And in many parts of the world, being a woman means to serve a man and to keep quiet, and to stay out of the way of the patriarchy without question. Many of us grow up feeling like it's not safe to speak our truth from a very early age, or you may have been raised to speak only when spoken to. And this conditioning often causes children to withdraw because they feel like what they have to say isn't important. And the result is that we can learn to withdraw and become even more quiet because we don't want to be hurt. We don't want to be told that our opinions and that our voice doesn't matter. Basically, we learn to play by the rules of communication or lack thereof to remain safe. Unfortunately, this is a pattern that we create at such a young age, and it often carries with us as we grow up through adolescence and into our adult lives. We don't even realize it. So one of my goals is to help as many women as I possibly can uncover that moment when we decided it was safer to be quiet and to remain small, to help each and every one of us step forward, stand up, and speak our truth. We are not too soft. We are not too weak. We are not too precious or dim-witted to think for ourselves. We are so much more than that. We have so much to share. If you struggle speaking your truth, if you struggle asking for what you need, I invite you to grab a journal or notebook or piece of paper or something where you can write down some of the questions that I have for you, because we're going to be digging deep. The first step to reclaiming your feminine voice is admitting that you've been keeping quiet, often just to keep the peace in your family or in your workplace, at school, wherever. So let's identify where you might be giving your power away to ensure that everyone around you is happy. When did you stop expressing yourself to stay safe? This is a place where I'd really like you to dig in and explore the story here. I can remember when I started to be quiet. I was probably 8 or 9 years old, and I realized that it was much safer for me to keep my opinion to myself than to share it with my dad, especially in certain situations. At the time, I didn't realize what those situations were, but as an adult, I can tell you that if he'd been drinking alcohol or if he was extra stressed, he really didn't want to hear anything. And I didn't live with him. I didn't grow up with him. But when I would visit him, I could really quickly realize if I was quiet, then he would leave me alone. And then I would just get to enjoy the positive parts of his personality. Do you recall a particular conflict or experience where you fell silent to protect the peace? And finally, what does the one in you that wants to be heard have to say? What does she have to say? So these aren't surface questions. These aren't things that I just expect you to answer immediately and, okay, now I've done my journaling and now I'm done. This is dive deep, dig deep stuff. Where are you giving your power away to make others happy? When did you stop expressing yourself to remain safe? And do you recall a particular conflict or experience where you fell silent to protect the peace? And finally, what does the one in you who wants to be heard, what does she have to say? By answering these questions and untangling a little bit of your story, it'll be much easier for you to start practicing using your voice again, to realize that what you think and say is of value, and to start practicing bringing that voice forward, bringing your beautiful, valuable, gorgeous voice forward in the conversation, no matter what. I often invite women who struggle sharing their voice to start small by using their voice in the car when they're driving, speaking out loud, moving through conversations that you might have, practicing what you might say. Another way would be when you're at the restaurant. A lot of us fall quiet at restaurants when we order something and we get it and it's not what we asked for. Oftentimes we'll be like, oh, well, I'll just eat it, no big deal. And we don't say anything. Or we order something to a particular temperature and it comes and it's completely wrong. We don't say anything. This is the perfect place to start by saying, thank you, but I ordered the fish and you gave me the chicken. Or thank you, but this isn't working out for me. I ordered this medium rare and it's well done. Whatever happens, whatever that looks like, to just speak up about it. And what you'll find is more often than not, the server is going to be somewhat mortified and want to get you exactly what you ordered, want to get it right. And that's what you deserve. That's what you're paying for. You're paying for what you ordered, not for what you received if it isn't what you ordered. So those are just a couple of things. You can practice in the car. You can practice at the restaurant. You can practice recording your voice. I do a lot of work with coaches and healers and authors for podcasts and voice work. And sometimes it's the toughest thing to hear our voices. But by recording them and hearing our voices, something changes. That's it for today. I'd really like you to sit with the questions that I asked you earlier in the episode. Do some journaling. Sit with it. And please reach out if you'd like to share with me what you've learned, either on Facebook at Transformation Goddess, or you can certainly email me anytime at shan@transformationgoddess.com. Thanks so much for listening to This Sacred Life. I'm so glad that you keep coming back, and I look forward to sharing time with you again. Thanks for listening to This Sacred Life. If you enjoyed what you heard, please consider sharing this podcast with a friend or leaving me some stars and a favorable review so that I can reach even more women around the world with This Sacred Life's message. And be sure to visit transformationgoddess.com to claim your free album of guided relaxations. for your goddess journey.